Summer hits 98 degrees, and suddenly reasonable adults turn into people who think their AC runs on wishes. HVAC techs get the wildest calls of the year, the loudest tantrums, the strangest excuses. Today, we're opening the vault on complaints that made real technicians question everything they know about people. 1. A guy in Georgia called his HVAC company, screaming that his brand new unit was defective because it couldn't cool his living room. The tech shows up. Every single window in the house is wide open, all 8 of them. The homeowner insists that's fine because the AC is supposed to work anyway. The tech tried to explain airflow, thermodynamics, the concept of a closed system. The man said the manufacturer never mentioned windows in the manual. That's the excuse. Not a joke. He wanted a refund. 2. Another homeowner set her thermostat to 55 degrees during a heat wave and called her repair guy in tears because it only got down to 72. She wanted to know why she was paying $200 a month if the unit couldn't hit her target. Here's the honest truth techs will tell you when you catch them off duty. Most residential AC systems are built to pull indoor temps about 20 degrees below whatever's happening outside. 55 in August isn't a setting. It's a fantasy. 3. Somewhere between denial and pure heat stroke logic, a Florida retiree phoned his repair company to demand they come fix his central air because it had stopped working entirely. The technician arrived within the hour, walked around the house, and found the outdoor unit unplugged. The homeowner had pulled the plug himself 3 days earlier to save on electricity during the day. Then he forgot. Then he got hot. Then he blamed the machine and demanded a discount. 4. One Texas woman filed a formal complaint against her HVAC contractor because the new system he installed was too quiet. She said she couldn't tell if it was even running, and that made her anxious. She wanted him to come back and make it louder. He tried explaining that quiet operation is a feature, not a defect. She left a 1-star review claiming he installed a broken unit. The unit was working perfectly. She just missed the rattle of her 30-year-old dying system. 5. A homeowner in Ohio insisted his AC was leaking Freon because he saw water dripping from the outdoor line. He demanded emergency service, hazmat cleanup, and possibly a lawsuit. The tech showed up, looked at the dangerous chemical, and gently explained it was condensation. Just water. From the air. Like every functioning AC unit on Earth produces every single day. The man refused to believe it and asked for a second opinion. 2 more techs came out. All water, still water. 6. Deep in the suburbs outside Atlanta, a couple called their HVAC company at 2 in the morning to complain that their upstairs was warmer than their downstairs. The tech, half asleep, asked if they were aware that heat rises. Long pause on the phone. The wife finally said, "Well, that sounds like something you should fix." He tried explaining actual physics. Real, textbook physics. She threatened to leave a bad review because he was being condescending about air. 7. An HOA in Arizona sent a certified letter to a homeowner demanding he reduce the noise output of his central air unit. The noise output being the sound of an air conditioner running. In Arizona, in July. He measured it himself, 62 decibels, quieter than a normal conversation. The HOA wanted it below 40. That's the sound of a whisper. In 115-degree heat. The man wrote back asking if they'd prefer he just die quietly instead. 8. A customer in Nevada refused to pay for a service call because the technician didn't fix anything. What the technician had actually done was flip her breaker back on. Off, he flipped it, and the unit ran perfectly. 20 seconds of work, $95 minimum charge. The customer said that was robbery. The tech pointed out that knowing which breaker to flip is literally the job. She still disputed the charge with her bank. 9. After nearly a full week of triple-digit temperatures, a man in Vegas called his HVAC company demanding they replace his entire system because it just isn't cold enough. The tech arrived and found the air handler filter completely black. Not dirty. Black. Solid. Like a hockey puck. He asked when the filter had last been changed. The homeowner said, "Filter?" He'd lived in the house for 11 years. Never touched it. The unit was suffocating and he wanted a brand new one. 10. A California woman insisted her AC was haunted. That's the actual written complaint she filed. It made weird noises at night, cold spots moved around her house, and sometimes the vents blew sad air. The technician came anyway, because a service call is a service call. He found a loose duct connection, tightened it, and the ghost left. She still posted a review warning others about spiritual disturbances in the ventilation system. 11. A Massachusetts homeowner called in a rage because his AC was blowing hot air. The tech asked him to describe the situation. He said, "It's blowing hot air out the back, right on the patio." That's the outdoor condenser unit. That's exactly what it does. It moves heat from inside your house to outside your house. That is the entire concept of air conditioning. The homeowner said nobody had ever told him that, and it seemed like a serious design flaw. 12. Right in the middle of a New Orleans heat advisory, a landlord tried to convince his tenants that a broken AC in 98-degree humidity was not an emergency. He told them to open a window. The tenants filed a habitability complaint with the city. In Louisiana, working climate control is legally required in most rental units during extreme heat events. The landlord ended up paying a fine, buying a whole new unit, and covering 3 nights in a hotel he definitely couldn't afford. 13. One Chicago tenant left a 2-page complaint with her property manager because the AC in her apartment smelled weird. The tech found a dead mouse in the return vent. Just one, small one. He removed it, cleaned the duct, deodorized the system, done. She demanded the entire building be evacuated and inspected. She also demanded a full rent refund for biological trauma. The mouse had been dead approximately a day and a half. Total damage? Nothing. 14. A Florida retiree called an HVAC company to complain about his energy bill. $600 in 1 month. He wanted them to explain why. The tech looked at his thermostat. Set to 64 degrees. Outside temperature averaging 92. He was running his AC harder than most commercial walk-in freezers. When the tech laid out the math, the man said, "So the machine is inefficient." "No, sir. The machine is fine. You are inefficient." 15. Somewhere inside a gated community in South Carolina, a woman sued her HVAC installer because the new unit changed the smell of her house. She claimed the air felt different, tasted different, and made her houseplants droop. The tech offered to run diagnostics. She refused. She wanted the old, broken 20-year-old system reinstalled. He explained that wasn't legal or possible under current refrigerant rules. She took him to small claims court. She lost. He countercharged for his time. 16. A guy in Denver called his repair company to say his AC wasn't blowing anything. The tech asked if he'd check the vents. Long silence. The homeowner had closed every vent in the house 6 months earlier to focus the cold in one room. Then he forgot. Then he moved things around. Then summer came. Then he blamed the unit. Closing your vents doesn't focus the cold. It creates back pressure, damages the ducts, and eventually kills the blower motor. 17. One New York renter filed a complaint because her window AC unit was too heavy. She wanted the super to install a lighter one. He carefully explained that AC units contain compressors, coils, and refrigerant. That's the weight. That's literally what makes it cold. She said she'd read online that some units are much lighter. She meant fans. She was describing a fan. She wanted a fan and fully expected it to cool her studio apartment in July. 18. On the 3rd scorching day of a Kansas heat wave, a homeowner actually called 911 because his central air had stopped working, and he considered it a life-threatening emergency. Dispatchers stayed calm, explained that a broken AC isn't a police matter, and gave him the number for a local HVAC company. He called them back an hour later, even angrier, saying the dispatcher had been unhelpful during a medical crisis. His medical crisis was being mildly warm inside his own house. 19. A Vermont couple demanded a full refund on their new heat pump because it didn't cool the basement. Their basement was already 64 degrees. In August. Without the AC even running. They wanted it to be 58. The tech explained that heat pumps don't chase temperatures that low, and that most basements naturally stay cool because they're underground. They accused him of installing a lazy unit and threatened to report him to the state licensing board. 20. A homeowner in Arizona called his HVAC company to complain that his air conditioner had given up on life. The tech pulled up to a house with an outdoor unit sitting in direct desert sun with zero shade. Packed inside a decorative wooden box the owner had built himself to make it look nicer. The unit was baking itself. Airflow blocked on all four sides. The tech removed the box. Cold air within minutes. The homeowner still blamed the manufacturer for making a fragile system. 21. Somewhere in the middle of a Louisiana August, a woman called her HVAC company to complain that her portable AC unit wasn't working right. The tech asked her to describe the setup. She had the exhaust hose venting into her closet. Not out the window, into a closet. She thought hot air just needed to go away from the room. The closet was 110 degrees. Her clothes were damp. The AC was doing its job. She was undoing it in real time. 22. A Michigan homeowner demanded warranty coverage on his outdoor unit because an animal broke it. The animal in question was a squirrel that had chewed through the wiring. Warranty companies almost universally exclude pest damage, and the tech had to break the news gently. The homeowner argued that squirrels are natural and therefore act of God. He wrote a 2,000-word email to corporate arguing that a rodent qualified as weather. They denied him anyway. 23. One roommate in Brooklyn filed a noise complaint against her own roommate because he kept aggressively adjusting the thermostat. She heard the little beep from her bedroom, and it made her rage. He liked it at 72. She wanted 78. They ended up putting a small padlock on the thermostat cover. Marriage counselors could learn from that solution. The HVAC tech, who came out for an unrelated issue, watched all this unfold and quietly took photos for his group chat. 24. Right in the middle of a Phoenix heat emergency, an elderly man refused to let a technician into his home because the tech looked like he might steal something. That was the whole reason. No previous incident. Just vibes. His AC had been down for 2 days. It was 116 outside. His daughter, 3 states away, ended up on video call with him for 40 minutes convincing him to open the door. The tech fixed it in 15. The man tipped him $20 and apologized. 25. A Tennessee homeowner called his HVAC installer furious because his new smart thermostat was spying on him. He'd read online that these things track behavior. He wasn't entirely wrong. Smart thermostats do collect usage data to optimize efficiency, and that data can be shared depending on the brand's privacy policy. But he wanted the tech to install a regular thermostat and refund the difference. The tech did it. No argument. Sometimes the customer is right for the wrong reasons. 26. One Airbnb guest in Miami left a scathing review because the AC only got the room to 74 degrees. It was 99 outside with 90% humidity. The unit was pulling 25 degrees below ambient in a swamp. That's actually impressive performance. The host tried to explain. The guest said she was used to hotels that get cold. Commercial hotels use oversized systems and industrial dehumidifiers. A rental condo isn't a Marriott, but try telling that to a review. 27. Somewhere on a quiet street in New Jersey, a homeowner sued his neighbor because the neighbor's condenser unit made his tomatoes ripen unevenly. He claimed the warm air blowing from the unit disrupted his garden's microclimate. The judge asked if he had any evidence. He brought tomatoes to court. Actual tomatoes, in a Tupperware. The case was dismissed. The neighbor still had to listen to him mutter about it at every block party for the next 4 summers. 28. A retired couple in Arkansas called their repair guy to say the AC made the house too dry. The tech checked. Humidity was at 42%. That's actually the ideal indoor range for human health and comfort. He explained this politely. They demanded he put the moisture back. He suggested a small humidifier. They accused him of upselling. He left. They called 3 more companies. Every single tech told them the same thing. They finally accepted it. Kind of. 29. A homeowner in Oregon insisted his mini-split was possessed because it turned on by itself at 3 in the morning. Every night. Same time. He was ready to throw the whole thing out. The tech asked to see the remote. Sure enough, someone had set a nightly timer months ago and forgotten. Probably his wife, probably during a hot flash. The tech didn't say that part out loud. He just cleared the timer and quietly billed the $95 diagnostic fee. 30. On the hottest afternoon of the year in Sacramento, a woman called her HVAC company because her AC was leaking blood. Real quote. She was hysterical. The tech arrived expecting some kind of rust or refrigerant dye. What he found was a red popsicle her toddler had shoved into the return vent an hour earlier. It was melting, dripping, looking exactly like a horror movie prop. The tech pulled it out, cleaned the vent, and told her not to worry. She still bleached the whole hallway. 31. A Florida condo association wrote a strongly worded letter to a resident whose window unit was visible from the street. They demanded he remove it or install decorative screening. The unit was on the 3rd floor. You had to squint from the sidewalk to see it. He installed the screening. The screening blocked airflow. The unit overheated. It died in a week. He billed the HOA for the replacement. They refused. He sued. He won. Small claims. Court respects physics. 32. One tenant in Cleveland called her landlord in a panic because her AC was making a sound like a dying whale. The landlord sent a tech. The sound was the compressor kicking on. That's just what compressors sound like when a unit is 15 years old. Not broken, not dangerous, just aging. She insisted it wasn't safe. The landlord replaced the unit anyway because arguing with tenants about noise is a losing game. The new one hummed quietly. She complained it was too quiet. 33. Somewhere between confusion and pure summer madness, a homeowner in Idaho called his HVAC company because his air conditioner was blowing the wrong kind of cold. He said normal cold felt wet, and this cold felt sharp. The tech tried to figure out what he meant. Turns out he'd cranked the fan to high, which reduces dehumidification and creates a drier, cooler-feeling airflow. The tech explained the trade-off. The homeowner told him to make the cold softer. That's not a setting that exists. 34. A homeowner in Virginia demanded a refund because his new AC wasn't as cold as the demo unit at the store. Retail showrooms often run their display units at maximum output with unrestricted airflow in temperature-controlled buildings. Your house is not a showroom. Your house has walls, sun exposure, insulation gaps, and a dog that opens the sliding door with his nose. The tech laid this out patiently. The homeowner said the tech was making excuses for a bad product. 35. A California woman filed a formal complaint because her HVAC technician didn't offer her water during his service call. It was 101 degrees. She had watched him work outside for 2 hours. She didn't offer him anything either. She then complained that his shirt was sweaty when he came inside. She wrote all of this in her review. The company sent her a formal apology and a $50 credit. The tech went home and drank 2 Gatorades in his truck. 36. On what should have been a routine service call in Utah, a technician found the outdoor unit completely encased in ice. In August, in a 100-degree afternoon, the homeowner had been running the system for 11 straight days with a filter so clogged the evaporator coil had frozen solid. When the ice melted, it caused water damage in the ceiling below. The homeowner blamed the tech for not warning him about filters. Filters are in the owner's manual, which he'd used as a coaster. 37. A Georgia homeowner called an HVAC company at midnight demanding emergency service because the AC sounds like it's crying. The tech, half asleep, asked what that meant. She held the phone up to the unit. It was a high-pitched whistle from a slightly loose panel. Not urgent. Fixable in the morning. She insisted it was crying and she couldn't sleep. She paid the emergency rate, $340, to tighten 2 screws. The tech tightened them in 90 seconds and drove home. 38. One New Mexico man complained that his swamp cooler wasn't working. The tech arrived and found the water reservoir bone dry. Evaporative coolers, common across the desert Southwest, work by pulling air through wet pads. No water, no cooling. The homeowner said he'd stopped filling it because he didn't want to waste water in a drought. He then wanted the tech to make it work anyway. The tech explained water is literally the mechanism. The man said that seemed like a design problem. 39. Somewhere off a rural road in Kentucky, a homeowner had planted a full row of thick evergreen bushes around his condenser to hide it from view. Within 2 summers, the bushes had grown into a dense wall, blocking every side. The unit was cooking itself alive. He called his HVAC company, demanding to know why it kept breaking. The tech pointed at the bushes. The homeowner refused to cut them because his wife loved them. He replaced the AC twice instead. Cheaper than upsetting his wife, he said. 40. A Massachusetts homeowner insisted her AC needed to be replaced because it sounded different this year. The tech ran diagnostics, everything within normal operating range. She said no, last year it had a rhythm she liked and this year it didn't. He recorded both years of sound and played them back, identical. She still felt something was wrong. She paid for a full system replacement anyway. The tech didn't argue. New unit installed. She said it sounded just like last year. It was a completely different brand. 41. A homeowner in Nevada called his HVAC company to complain that the tech had left fingerprints on his thermostat. That was the complaint. The tech had touched the thermostat during a diagnostic. Because that's how you check a thermostat. The homeowner wanted the service fee refunded and the tech retrained on cleanliness. The company gently declined. He left a 1-star review titled, "Dirty Fingers Cost Me Money." The tech printed it out and pinned it to the shop wall as a trophy. 42. In the parking lot of a Texas apartment complex, 3 neighbors got into a screaming match over one window AC unit. It was dripping condensation onto the balcony below. That's normal. That's what window units do. The neighbor below claimed it was acid rain, damaging her plants. The unit owner refused to move it. The middle neighbor just wanted them all to shut up. Property management installed a small drip tray. Peace, technically. Nobody spoke to each other for the rest of the lease. 43. A homeowner in Wisconsin complained that his central air was wasting electricity because the outdoor unit kept running. That's how central air works. The outdoor unit runs whenever the system is cooling. He believed it should only run when needed, meaning short random bursts. When the tech explained continuous operation cycles, he demanded a system that only ran for 2 minutes at a time. That's not a thing. That's not anything. The tech left a brochure on efficiency and quietly drove away. 44. A New York restaurant owner refused to pay for an HVAC repair because the tech didn't smile enough. That's in the actual dispute letter. The tech had fixed a rooftop unit in 98-degree heat while dodging pigeons. He was tired. He didn't perform emotional labor. The owner wanted a discount for poor customer experience. The HVAC company sent the invoice to collections. The restaurant paid, then left a review complaining about the collections process. The circle of retail life. 45. Right in the middle of a Missouri heat dome, a homeowner called demanding to know why her energy bill had tripled overnight. The tech looked at her thermostat history through the smart app. She'd been leaving the front door open for her cats to come and go, all day, for weeks, in 100-degree weather. Her AC was cooling the entire outdoors, 1 square foot at a time. She said the cats needed freedom. Freedom cost her $400 that month. 46. An Oklahoma homeowner called an HVAC company to complain that his air was coming out sideways. The tech asked him to clarify. He said the vents were angled and the air wasn't going straight down. Vents are designed with directional louvers to distribute air across a room. That's the entire point. He wanted the air to come out straight because that's how physics should work. The tech adjusted the louvers straight down. Cold spot on the floor. Hot ceiling. The homeowner blamed the unit. 47. A tenant in Boston filed a habitability complaint because her landlord wouldn't install central air in her apartment. The building was from 1902. Retrofitting central air into century-old brick buildings requires major structural work, and Massachusetts law doesn't require it for older units. The landlord offered a window unit. She refused. She wanted real AC. She lived there through the whole summer with a box fan and a grudge. The next tenant took the window unit gratefully. 48. On a blistering afternoon outside Charlotte, a homeowner called his HVAC company because his AC wasn't cooling the master bedroom. The tech went up to check. The homeowner had hung thick blackout curtains directly over the return vent to help with the sun. The return couldn't pull air, so the system couldn't circulate. He'd blocked his own airflow trying to solve a lighting problem. The tech moved the curtains, cool air within an hour. The homeowner blamed the curtain company. 49. A homeowner in Alabama demanded that his HVAC tech bless the unit before leaving. That was a first. The tech is not a priest. He politely said he wasn't qualified. The homeowner said any tech worth his money knows how to bless equipment. He refused to sign the service ticket. The company let it go and marked the account as unusual. 2 weeks later, the man called again, this time for a plumbing issue. He asked for the same tech. He wanted the pipes blessed too. 50. One Pennsylvania homeowner insisted his AC had a personality problem. The unit ran fine. Cold air, correct pressures, clean filter. But he felt it was moody. Some days it cooled fast, some days slow. That's called outdoor temperature variation. When it's 95 outside, the unit works harder and cools slower. When it's 80, it cools faster. He wanted consistency regardless of weather. The tech said that would require rewriting thermodynamics. The homeowner said he was open to it. 51. Somewhere in a quiet neighborhood in Indiana, a woman called the police on her HVAC technician because he stayed on her property too long. He had been there 90 minutes replacing a blower motor. That's a normal repair time. The officers arrived, spoke to the tech, saw the invoice, and left. The woman still filed a formal complaint with the company. The tech was cleared. She was placed on the internal one-visit-only list. 2 months later, she called for a tune-up. They politely declined her business. 52. A homeowner in Delaware complained that his new heat pump didn't feel American enough. That's a direct quote. He'd been sold a Korean-made unit. He wanted a domestic brand. The tech pointed out that most major HVAC components, regardless of brand, are manufactured across multiple countries. He didn't care. He wanted the whole system removed and replaced with something patriotic. The installer swapped it for another brand assembled in Tennessee. The homeowner was satisfied. Same compressor. Made in Mexico. 53. A Colorado retiree called her HVAC company to complain that her air felt too clean. She missed the smell of her old system, which was a mixture of dust, mildew, and slow decay. The new unit had a proper filter and a clean air handler. She wanted the tech to put the smell back. He suggested burning a candle. She said that wasn't the same. She actually paid another company to rehang her old ductwork. Some people are just at war with their own comfort. 54. On what everyone assumed was a normal Tuesday in Alabama, an HVAC company got a call from a customer saying his AC unit had been kidnapped. He'd come home to find the outdoor condenser gone. Just gone. This is actually a real crime pattern in some areas. Thieves steal outdoor units for the copper coils, which can fetch a few $100s at scrapyards. He wanted his HVAC company to file the police report for him. They gave him the number and wished him luck. Insurance eventually covered it. 55. A Utah homeowner insisted that his air conditioner was using too much air from outside. He believed the unit was drawing air from around his yard, cooling it, and pushing it inside. That's not how central air works. Residential systems recirculate indoor air across a cold coil. They don't pull fresh air from outside. The tech explained the closed loop. The homeowner said that couldn't be right because he'd seen the outdoor unit breathing. That was the fan. Just the fan. 56. A homeowner in South Dakota called an HVAC company at 7 in the morning to complain that his AC was making the walls sweat. That's condensation. That happens when humid indoor air meets cold surfaces. In older, poorly insulated houses, it means the vapor barrier is failing and moisture is condensing on the drywall. It's a real issue, but it's not the AC's fault. The tech recommended a whole house dehumidifier. The homeowner said he'd rather sue the drywall. 57. Deep inside a suburban Chicago basement, a homeowner had installed his own central air system. Bought parts online. Wired it himself. Refrigerant lines soldered together with a hardware store torch. The system leaked, sparked, and eventually caught fire. He called an HVAC company for warranty service. He had no warranty. He also had no license, no permits, and no insurance coverage. The tech's only advice was to call a fire investigator and never touch a copper line again. 58. A homeowner in North Carolina refused to let a tech near her thermostat because it was calibrated to her energy. That's what she said. Energy. The tech was there to diagnose why the unit was short-cycling. He needed thermostat access. She refused. He couldn't do the job. She still expected him to fix it remotely. The company charged her the trip fee. She disputed it. The dispute failed because she'd signed the service agreement. Sometimes paperwork wins. 59. A Kentucky homeowner called his HVAC contractor demanding a refund because the technician wore shoes indoors. The tech had actually worn shoe covers per company policy. The homeowner said he could still feel their presence on the carpet. Their presence. Of shoes. That had been covered. He wanted the carpet professionally cleaned at the contractor's expense. The contractor declined. The homeowner left a bad review titled, "They walked on my floor." Some reviews write themselves into local legend. 60. On a boiling afternoon in Central Texas, a couple called their HVAC company because their AC sounded like it was trying to speak. Every time the compressor kicked on, they heard a low warble that sort of resembled words. The tech recorded it, listened carefully, and confirmed it was just a failing capacitor. Replaced it. Sound gone. The wife was relieved. The husband was disappointed. He'd been hoping for a voice. He asked if the tech could put the sound back. That was a first. 61. A homeowner in New Hampshire demanded that his HVAC company come out on a Sunday to fix his AC because his houseplants were stressed. Not people. Plants. It was 78 degrees inside, perfectly comfortable. The plants were fine. The tech went anyway because time and a half is time and a half. He found nothing wrong. Billed the emergency rate. Left. The homeowner called 2 days later to say the plants seemed happier. The tech didn't respond. He just cashed the check. 62. A California renter left a 2-star review of her HVAC service call because the tech didn't compliment her decor. That was the whole complaint. He'd fixed the unit, cleaned up his mess, and left. But apparently he was supposed to admire her mid-century modern living room. He hadn't. She felt disrespected. The company reached out to apologize. The tech, when told, laughed for 6 full minutes. He now compliments every home he enters, sarcastically. Nobody can tell. 63. On a scorching morning in Central Florida, a homeowner called his HVAC company because his AC had possessed the dog. The dog was hiding from the outdoor unit, barking at it, refusing to go outside. The tech investigated. There was a wasp nest tucked into the condenser fins, and the dog had been stung earlier that week. The tech removed the nest, sealed the gaps, and problem solved. The dog cautiously returned to the yard. The homeowner still believes something spiritual had been involved. 64. A homeowner in Illinois called his repair company because his AC was blowing old air. He said the air felt like it had been sitting somewhere, recycled, stale. The tech explained again that central air recirculates indoor air by design. He wanted fresh air pumped in from outside. That's called a ventilator, and it's a separate system that has to be installed. The homeowner accused the industry of hiding that from him. It's in every HVAC brochure in the country. 65. A tenant in Oregon filed a complaint against her building manager because the central AC wasn't cold enough on her floor. She lived on the top floor. Top floors get more sun. Top floors are always warmer. That's true in every multi-story building on Earth. The manager offered to install a supplemental window unit. She refused because it would be unattractive. She wanted the building to somehow rearrange itself. She's still complaining. The building is still a building. Summer doesn't break air conditioners. It breaks people. Every HVAC tech we talk to says the same thing. The machine is usually fine. The human is the malfunction. Which of these complaints hits closest to someone you know? Drop it in the comments. I read every one. If you laughed, hit that like button and subscribe so the next batch finds you.